Let's talk about making your progress inevitable. There's 3 things that we're going to go over that when you work them all in together, they don't just make your progress something that may or maybe won't happen, who knows, because it is about a commitment to the journey. Then all of a sudden, our progress will now become predictable and eventually it'll become inevitable. So the first thing that we need to do is start to rely on systems over motivation. That means if we've got a list of actions that are required to do to achieve a certain result, we need to put them into our habits and our routines that we do daily and weekly. Not only that, but we have to remove the friction and the distractions from that process so that it's easy to do them and we are set up and we are prepared to just tick the boxes as they come up. Then we don't have to rely on the motivation to, if you want to be there or not, it helps you become the person that just does it anyway. So it's actually assessing, for me to tick those boxes, what micro other tasks do I need to do so that when I don't feel like doing it, it's so easy for me to do it anyway that I don't have to spend that extra 10 minutes of getting clothes out, making sure that everything is in order in the house, that your food is ready, that your shake is ready, your bag is ready, all of those things that help you just show up. Number 2, we want to observe what we need to track and adjust to get towards our outcomes. A great saying is, what gets measured gets managed. So if you have a goal and you're not able to observe measurable steps towards that goal, let's forget the timeline for a moment and just think what actually progress looks like overall. What would it look like if I was getting close to my goal? If you're not measuring each step, or you're not measuring that at all, then you won't know if you are improving and if the process is working. And because although we are human, we all have slightly different requirements to what our body needs at certain times. So if you've got someone that's really good at one thing, but they want to diversify their skill set, then they need to take a different approach with the exercises, the routines, the way that they might be sleeping, the way that they might be eating, the way that they might be training. Like all different outcomes require a different process. And you need to track those things and then adjust based on the results that you're getting. But you can't adjust unless you have started to track, get an outcome, and then you adjust based on the outcomes that you are getting as you go along. So that is why you need to track your sessions, record your sets if you're doing strength and skills work to show that you are actually getting better at the movements. Not just more weight on the bar, but you are expressing more control, maybe more speed. Perhaps you're doing it with less pain. Perhaps you've increased the rep range. These are all outcomes that are measurable that say we are moving in a direction. It's just not the traditionally taught, more weight on the bar means I am getting stronger. There's so much more to it if we want to play the long game in the gym. So number 1, get your system so you don't have to rely on motivation. Number 2, you have to track and adjust. And if that tracking and adjusting is in your systems, and so you've systemized that small incremental tracking so that you can tell a story of how you are going, then they're the first 2. Number 3 is a whole overarching identity shift. You need to become the person that just does it anyway. If you look to yourself 5 years from now and you think, what do I want to be doing in 5 years? And you look at what things does that person do differently to me now, the faster that you can just change the things that you do and don't do, and you can change them into the things that you now do and you've stopped doing, then you would have become the person that is in the future. Then it's just a matter of time until those results present themselves. So our identity is just the stories that we tell ourselves and therefore the actions we take because of the stories that we tell ourselves. For example, a lot of people tell themselves that it is much easier to have a coffee in the morning than not to have a coffee because all the times that they've not had a coffee, they probably don't feel that nice high afterwards, and therefore they say, well, I need my coffee in the morning. So therefore, those people will, if they don't have their coffee, just talk about, I can't do anything until I've had my coffee. And that's a story that they've created, and they will exaggerate the probable effects of not actually having coffee will do to them just by enforcing that loop. And so we have to unenforce certain loops if we're going to become someone different. So we have to observe what stories we tell ourselves, and that starts by looking at the things we do and asking, why do we do that? And if we are doing certain undesirable tasks, or if we're doing things that we don't want to be doing anymore, looking at what story do I tell myself that keeps me coming back to that thing. So quick review, systemize the things that you need to be doing to achieve your outcome so that you don't need to rely on motivation. Make it frictionless and remove distractions. Number 2, break apart what progress looks like into little steps and make sure that you are ticking the boxes as part of those systems that you've created. In the gym, or if we're looking at physical results, it's making sure that we track our sets, our reps, and we are improving and getting progressive overload in our training. It is recording, it is tracking your calories if you have a body composition based outcome that you are pursuing, or if you are looking at improving your fueling for health or performance. And then lastly is just knowing that you need to become a new person. It's not just this old person that is adding things. It is you are moving into a new phase of life where you are becoming someone new. And you have to accept that, otherwise you will not find the changes that you need to make sustainable.